LeBron James apparently said, "Yes, sir, no problem, sir." And in LeBron's next game, he's going to be wearing a patch that says all-time leader made field goals.
When people talk about, your favorite players and the best players in the world, I say Mike and I say Kobe. You know what I mean? And then everybody else.
LeBron's after that for you?
Definitely.
Allen Iverson has reignited one of basketball's most heated debates, and many fans believe his recent comments contained a subtle message aimed at LeBron James, even though he never mentioned him by name. What started as a discussion about mentality quickly evolved into a much larger conversation about leadership, accountability, and the differences between NBA generations. The buzz began after Iverson reflected on how legendary players from previous eras handled adversity. He spoke about dealing with pressure, criticism, injuries, media scrutiny, and playoff disappointments without constantly searching for explanations. Almost immediately, basketball fans began drawing connections to today's stars, and as often happens in modern NBA discourse, LeBron James found himself at the center of the conversation. Whether Iverson intended to reference LeBron or not is ultimately impossible to know. However, the timing of the comments, combined with the current climate surrounding NBA legacy debates, caused the discussion to spread rapidly across social media. Many fans interpreted his remarks as part of a larger critique of how modern superstars are discussed compared to players from earlier generations. The reason the conversation gained so much momentum is because there has already been a growing divide between old-school basketball perspectives and the modern NBA culture. Numerous former players have argued that today's game places too much emphasis on narratives, legacy protection, and explaining setbacks rather than simply accepting them and moving forward. Fair or not, that belief has become increasingly common among certain retired players and longtime fans. Iverson represents a very different era of basketball. He built his reputation by playing through injuries, carrying enormous responsibilities, and competing under relentless criticism. His run to the NBA Finals with Philadelphia remains one of the most memorable individual postseason performances in league history, particularly because it came against a dominant championship-caliber opponent. That background naturally gives extra weight to anything he says about toughness, resilience, and accountability. As a result, when Iverson speaks about great players handling adversity without relying on excuses, many listeners immediately begin thinking about LeBron. Not necessarily because Iverson named him, but because LeBron has become the central figure in almost every major basketball legacy debate. Any discussion involving leadership, championships, criticism, or accountability eventually circles back to him. Many fans connected Iverson's comments to the Lakers' recent struggles. Whenever Los Angeles falls short of expectations, the conversation often expands beyond the game itself.
So Vogel gonna take some of this blame. Right? They're gonna point the finger at him, and this is what really bothers me, Molly and Stephen A. This season was never about winning.
Here's the angle that many people overlook. Allen Iverson understands better than most what it feels like to shoulder enormous expectations with limited support around him. His legendary 2001 playoff run remains one of the most remarkable individual postseason performances in NBA history. Night after night, he carried the offensive burden for Philadelphia and led a roster that few expected to reach the finals all the way to basketball's biggest stage. That's one reason his comments resonate so strongly. Many fans immediately compare Iverson's experience to LeBron James' career and notice the contrast. LeBron has often played alongside All-Stars, future Hall of Famers, Olympic teammates, and other elite talents. Whether that comparison is completely fair or not, it helps explain why Iverson's remarks generated so much discussion. When someone with his background talks about handling criticism without relying on excuses, people naturally begin drawing parallels. Of course, LeBron supporters quickly point to an important counterargument. LeBron has also carried flawed teams deep into the postseason. His 2007 run to the finals and his remarkable 2018 playoff performance are frequently cited as examples of a superstar overcoming roster limitations. Throughout his career, he has dealt with injuries, questionable front office decisions, coaching changes, and inconsistent supporting casts. From that perspective, discussing those challenges is not avoiding accountability, it's simply acknowledging reality. That disagreement is where the conversation becomes much larger than one interview or one quote. Older basketball fans often argue that previous generations of stars were more likely to shield teammates publicly and accept responsibility first, regardless of the circumstances. Many believe players such as Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Iverson projected a different style of leadership that emphasized absorbing criticism rather than explaining setbacks. As a result, what started as a discussion about Iverson's comments quickly evolved into a broader generational debate. One side views LeBron as exceptionally skilled at managing pressure, controlling narratives, and navigating the modern media landscape. The other side interprets some of those same actions as an effort to protect his image from criticism. The exact same behavior is being viewed through two completely different lenses. Iverson's presence in the discussion makes the debate even more compelling because of the reputation he built throughout his career. He was never seen as a polished corporate figure or a carefully managed public personality. Fans connected with him because he appeared authentic. He showed emotion, spoke his mind, made mistakes in public, and never seemed overly concerned with maintaining a perfect image. Whether people agreed with him or not, they felt they were seeing the real person. That authenticity remains one of the biggest reasons Iverson continues to resonate with basketball fans years after his retirement. He endured criticism for everything from his style and personality to his interests away from the court, yet he maintained a reputation as someone who genuinely loved competing. In today's sports environment, where branding and public relations play a major role, many fans find that level of raw honesty refreshing. LeBron's career, meanwhile, unfolded under entirely different circumstances. From the moment he entered the NBA, he operated under a spotlight unlike almost anything the league had seen before. Every statement became a headline, every playoff defeat sparked national debate, and every—
Hold on. You said LeBron James the greatest player ever?
Ever.
What about Michael and Kobe? So you just gonna pass Kobe up like that?
I'm gonna pass Kobe up. I'm gonna look at Michael. I'm gonna look at the. I'm gonna look at
I knew it. Patron America.
Yo.
Patron America.
To be fair, nostalgia plays a major role in conversations like this. Many fans look back at previous eras as if legendary players never complained, never made excuses, and never dealt with controversy. The reality is much more complicated. Michael Jordan publicly criticized organizations at times. Kobe Bryant famously expressed frustration with roster situations and even requested a trade. Shaquille O'Neal regularly challenged teammates and coaches through the media. Allen Iverson himself had well-documented disagreements with management and coaching staffs. The idea that older generations operated without drama is more myth than fact. What has changed dramatically is the media environment. Today's NBA exists in a world where every quote becomes a headline within minutes, every post-game comment is clipped for social media, and every playoff loss generates endless analysis. The scale and speed of modern coverage create an atmosphere where narratives can take on a life of their own almost instantly. That is where much of the criticism surrounding LeBron James originates. Some fans have developed the perception that too much attention is paid to explaining losses rather than simply accepting them. Whether that criticism is fair or not, it has become part of the conversation. As a result, when someone like Allen Iverson discusses legends handling adversity without searching for excuses, many listeners immediately connect those comments to LeBron's situation. The timing also contributed to the reaction. The Lakers have faced ongoing questions about roster construction, consistency, coaching decisions, and championship viability. Even though LeBron continues to produce at an elite level at an age where most players have long since retired, every setback receives enormous attention because he is still pursuing titles. The expectations remain championship level, which means every disappointment becomes magnified. Critics often return to one particular argument: influence brings responsibility. Throughout his career, LeBron has frequently been viewed as a player with significant input regarding roster moves, coaching preferences, veteran acquisitions, and overall team direction. Whether those perceptions are fully accurate or not, many fans believe that if a superstar helps shape an organization, he also shares responsibility when those decisions fail to produce results. Iverson's career created a very different image. Most fans never viewed him as someone influencing front office strategy behind the scenes. Instead, He was seen as a player battling through whatever circumstances surrounded him. That perception made his journey feel more personal and, for many supporters, more relatable. He was judged primarily by how he competed rather than by the decisions made around him. Basketball fans have always been drawn to stories of toughness and resilience. Historic moments become legendary not only because of skill but because of what they symbolize. Fans remember players battling through adversity, responding to criticism, and refusing to back down under pressure. Those moments often become larger than the statistics themselves. That is why perception matters so much in legacy discussions. Championships, awards, and records are important, but fans also remember how players responded to difficult moments. They remember body language, leadership, interviews, and accountability. Fair or not, those elements become part of a player's long-term reputation. Allen Iverson remains one of the most respected figures in basketball culture because many fans believed they always got the authentic version of him. He was emotional, outspoken, imperfect, and unapologetically himself. Even without winning a championship, he earned admiration because people respected the way he competed and the way he carried himself through adversity. The larger issue is that every basketball discussion now seems to flow into the GOAT debate. Michael Jordan supporters emphasize championships and perfect finals success. LeBron supporters highlight longevity, versatility, and sustained excellence. Kobe Bryant fans point to mentality and competitiveness. Iverson fans celebrate cultural impact, toughness, and authenticity. Because of that, any comment touching on accountability, leadership, or mentality quickly becomes ammunition in a much larger argument. Iverson's impact on basketball culture is often underestimated. He influenced fashion, self-expression, and the relationship between basketball and popular culture in ways that are still visible today. His willingness to remain himself despite criticism became a defining part of his legacy. LeBron's influence has been different but equally significant. He transformed ideas about player empowerment, athlete branding, career longevity, and off-court influence. He helped redefine what a modern superstar could be both on and off the court.